Bonjour, bonsoir. Dear friends, I'm with the beautiful, irresistible Anna Brittain, Executive Director of Napa Green, one of our very favorite topic, not only in Napa Valley, but all around the world, not only as a producer, but as a consumer. So Anna, remind us the goal, the vision, the mission of Napa Green, as well as the 6 phenomenal pillars that you've defined.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm the executive director of Napa Green, which is a nonprofit, a leading program for sustainability certification for wineries and vineyards here in Napa County. We're one of only 4 programs of this kind worldwide. Well, worldwide in the United States. There's a few more worldwide. Some of them I've worked on. But whenever we talk about sustainability, we have people say, oh, that's kind of confusing. It's kind of amorphous. It means different things to different people. Is it really meaningful? Is it really impactful? And so after getting many of those questions last year, I came up with this idea of the 6 pillars of sustainable wine growing leadership. There really are 6 pillars that any sustainability program, not just wine growing, should be working on if you're thinking about sustainability and leadership. And so we've talked about waste management, we've talked about energy efficiency, we're moving into talking about social equity and diversity, and then there's other pillars around water efficiency, around what's called integrated pest management, and great organic and biodynamic practices like Boisset Collection does at all of their estates. And then that all kind of rolls into the climate action, the critical overarching action we need to be taking, and the regenerative farming, which is part of why we love talking to you, because that's one of your passions as well.
Absolutely. Passion, and when you have a passion, you got to act on it.
Yes.
And this is all about execution.
Yes.
Talking about this, Anna needs a glass of wine.
I do. A glass of unifying wine.
Well, indeed. So, Anna, we created this wine called JCB Love Unity.
Yeah.
So this wine was created just a few weeks after the tragedy of April 2020.
Yeah.
And we said this isn't acceptable. We're going to have a voice.
Yeah.
And we're going to integrate people, one on the operational side, even more, of diverse background, from religion to skin colors to beliefs to gender, to beliefs in gender, to anything you choose, you can do it, and we bring it together. So this wine has been raising hundreds and thousands of dollars to help organizations bring people together, integrate them more into our world and in the world of hospitality. So it carries diversity, equality, unity, hope, love, and peace. This is really what we believe in. And you know, Anna, we really put our worlds on it because this is what we live by at the Boisset Collection, and I hope you do too. So, Anna today will talk about one of those pillars that she defined within Napa Greens, and I was thrilled when I discovered that she really stated that as strongly as the 3rd pillar, because this is essential.
Yes.
The table is to bring people together. The glass of wine is to all of us have conversation, debate constructively, and learn from one another, and not polarizing one another, but on the opposite, unite us.
From the heart, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think so often with sustainability, it's just ended up getting equated with environmental stewardship. And people are the foundation. You can't take action, you can't implement, you can't get people excited about doing these things if they're not feeling cared for and included. Right. So much of this, I have to tell you, because we work with hundreds of wineries and vineyards, a big marker of this is tenure, is how long you keep people. Yes. We work with places where everyone's been there 5, 10, 15 years, and we work with places where they can't keep someone there for a year. And that says so much about how you're caring for your team, how included they're feeling. And there's so much evidence that shows your team, people at any kind of business, not just a winery business, when there's a value-based system, they're more invested. They want to stay, they want to get involved, they want to get on that green team and help the business be more sustainable. So I know you, I think most of your team is over 5 years of tenure across the Boisset
10,
collection.
15, 20.
I'm sure many more, yeah.
And Anna, you know what I'm very proud of? Obviously, you're a gorgeous, very intelligent lady.
Tell me more.
And there's more to say. Some of the things I feel I don't want to necessarily share with all of you. But what I would say is we have over 65% of ladies as well.
I was going to say you have many women in leadership. I love it.
Well, and they lead, they run the show, and they're amazing at it. So I think when we thought about diversity. It's not just skin color, it's not just religion.
Absolutely.
We promote wine in over 105 countries. So we've been to Africa, to Asia, to South America, to the Middle East, everywhere.
Right.
So we sell wine to all religion, all skin colors already.
Absolutely.
But what has been exciting, and I'd love for you to touch on this, is the role of women within agriculture, viticulture. You could think it's hard. Our director of vineyard operation is Sophie Drucker. She's a woman. And I could go on and on. Tell us how it's possible for all the ladies with us to do this, as you are.
Well, and you know where else there are more women is out in the vineyard. People don't realize there's a lot more women now actually out working in the field, and I've had some vineyard managers tell me they do even better work, meticulous attention to detail in the vineyard, which is really interesting. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, the wine industry has typically been overwhelmingly male.
For sure.
Overwhelmingly white, just going to be honest. And so this is a shift we have to make. And then, of course, we have all of our workers in the field who are all very diverse, but then we need to take care of those people and make sure they have places to live and they're making a living wage. But we are seeing more and more of this women, and it says so much, again, not just the tenure, but it says so much about your organization that you have so many women in those positions, and they're staying in those positions because they feel like their voices are heard and they're having an impact, and you're recognizing their value, and they're not just, sitting there to sit there as a talking head, right?
And it's not just the white Westerner woman. We just met Mary Bell, who's now in charge of production. She started with her mother at Raymond Vineyards in the production facility. She was 22 years old. Today, she's running a facility.
Oh, that's fabulous.
I mean, as an example, this is very important to provide to all our friends mobility up within the org chart when you want to do it.
Yes.
Because the pathway is not easy. One, you're a woman, it could be threatening.
Yeah.
And two, often you have incredible talent and don't always see it. Yeah. So it's to demonstrate those two things, so we provide that path up.
Yeah,
Would you please touch on that as well?
Yeah, I was just going to say that's another key piece, because people ask us, when you're talking about sustainability standards, what do you mean? And of course it's like living wage and benefits and those things that you would think about. But then it is opportunities for advancement. When you're doing performance reviews, asking people, where do you want to be this time next year? And then checking in with them next year. Are you where you want to be? And then giving them opportunities, which you do. I think you put something like $100,000 a year towards training and education and committees and these different things. That's so key to get people engaged and give them that chance to continue getting that leg up. We also have some great organizations here in our community. We have the Farm Worker Foundation that can help with trainings and help with that skill set building. And then there's amazing rising organizations, some of which this wine has supported.
That's right.
Groups like Wine Unify, helping to get more young people into sommeliers and masters of wine. We have Diversity in Wine Leadership Forum.
AAA, the American African Association of Vintners, right?
So there's a lot of groups to get behind and support in this space as we're really trying to increase that diversity and equity and inclusion.
And equity means equal pay. How could we fathom, just because in the old days you're a woman, you should be paid 30% less than a man? I mean, what does that mean? There's nothing more foolish and more ridiculous and more insane and unjust that I've ever seen in history. So
it's still true. Women on average make less than men in comparable positions.
And I can tell you in our organization, and I'm not doing that for a pitch for you to join and apply, but it's certainly not the case. And I think it's all very important, as you're all from around the world watching and being with us on a regular basis, that we, fulfill a commitment to each other to narrow this gap and to make sure that there's no gap. We don't believe in gap that way, do we?
Yes, no, absolutely not. They've also shown, too, that even a man who's taller will make more money, so I wear my 5-inch heels so that this isn't an issue here.
And luckily I was not born that tall. Only 6 foot, so most of you ladies are taller than I am, so I should make less.
But yes, this is an important, I think a lot of people think this issue's over, it's done, and it's not.
It's not.
There's so much more work to do across the board, but including in our industry, around increasing diversity and equity and inclusion.
So within that pillar, what else would you recommend that we all do? What else would you encourage from a winery perspective as well as a consumer at large?
Well, I mean, I think we all go to work, right? We all have jobs. And so when you're in that space, in as much as you can, thinking about if you're in a position of hiring, thinking about really trying to hire or interview diverse candidates that have comparable levels of experience, of course. But we all have that ability. If you're in that job and there's someone that you felt like it was a little different and you haven't really engaged with them, engage with them, talk to them, learn from them, learn from those different experiences. I mean, that we all want, I'm going to get a little hokey here, but we've got to be coming from the heart for all of this. We have to be coming from the heart. And I think too, as you build that team spirit, then what we see in terms of sustainability and certification is people say, I want to join this green team or this blue team, a water team. I want to get involved in doing more recycling. Or saving water, or saving energy. I want to get together once a month and think about the ways that we can make those changes. And so it's not just one thing you're changing. You're changing so many pieces of an environment and of a value system by thinking about the people and how you care for that foundation. We can't have environmental or economic sustainability without social sustainability.
And if we all go together, we can change anything we wish.
We can.
Who is to say that the medieval world is the same today as it was? It's obviously not.
It's not.
So we can evolve. So the principle of being a Homo sapiens is we evolve and we transform and we really encourage transformation.
Absolutely.
So as this wine, and I've realized you haven't tasted the wine yet.
I did. I tasted it and it's lovely. It's unifying.
It's unifying. Describe us the wine. Tell us what you feel, because you're an amazing wine taster and you've been born and raised in the wine country.
Well, it also changes how you relate to the wine, knowing the value and the heart that's behind this wine. You know, absolutely, immediately. But it's a beautiful, as always, Cabernet Sauvignon. Excellent, excellent, rich, deep, complex. I love it.
And gives back a tremendous amount to the organization you've mentioned. So I think it's important to give back. You touch on education costs. How do we educate people if you're great communicators like yourself? So every one of us ought to invest in this, because this is the future. And a lot of things are very easy to understand and to convert, so it's not investing in 20 years, it's investing now for now.
We have to do it now. Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
I mean, we're in a climate crisis, I'm going to say it, and we have so little time to make the change we need to make, and it has to start with the people and getting them on board and excited about helping to make that change. And it starts there. That's the foundation.
Touch briefly on how important a diverse labor force in the vineyard and in the winery is critical to craft those great wines.
I mean, they've actually shown that there's a business case for diversity. Businesses that are more diverse do better. And mind you also that businesses that are more invested in sustainability do better. There's no example of a business not investing deeply in environmental and social values and not outperforming. They are consistently outperforming their, let's call them conventional counterparts. So there is an absolute, not just heart and relational and keeping people on board and involved for so long. And that's another aspect of ROI. If someone's turning over constantly and you're having to retrain someone and rebuild their knowledge, it's a huge loss. It's so expensive. So it's also thinking about those returns on investments in different ways. But I think part of why your business is flourishing is investing in these environmental and social values, and we're helping more and more businesses do that, and you can help do that in the work that you do as well.
Dear friends, a famous philosopher, Jean Bodin, French, from literally centuries ago, said there's only wealth in people. And it's true that the terroir is important, but don't forget, terroir is the place where the wine is from, is the plant, the weather condition, but the people and their passion.
Absolutely.
You need people and you need them passionate. And by bringing, I think, as an example, unity to a diversity, equality, inclusion, peace and love, frankly, is what makes a difference. That's why wine like this is vibrational.
Exactly. It is. I love that. Vibrational. That's perfect. Yes.
So, dear friends, to Anna Brittain, thank you so much. Napa Greens, we touch on a pillar that is essential. And many of you I know in the wine world, and you in many other great businesses, know that it applies for every business. Unity, diversity, and equality and inclusion is about everything we do in life to the behavior you have. So thank you for showing us the way here in Napa Valley.
Thank you.
Cheers.